Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pete here with MixBetterNow.com, and today I have a special treat for you. I got my hands on a brand new copy of the new plugin from Slate Digital, the FG-116 Blue Edition Compressor. We're going to give a little overview and a walkthrough and put it through its paces on some drums. But before I do that, please do me a favor. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like, and please click on the link below and sign up for the email list. When you do so, you will receive all kinds of free stuff like free multi-track sessions, free mix templates, free plugins, free impulse responses, free drum samples, all kinds of free stuff. So please check it out. All right, got some drums pulled up in here in Pro Tools. We have a kick in, we have a kick out, we have a snare top and bottom, rack tom, floor tom, hi-hats, stereo overheads left and right. We have a stereo pair of room mics left and right, and we have a mono room mic, and all of those are going to a drum bus. And then I also have a parallel bus set up where we're going to be doing some parallel compression on the drum bus as well. On each of the drum tracks, I'm using the VMR, where I'm using the VCC in the Brit 4KE setting. The drive is set to 9, and the input and output are straight up the middle, followed by the trimmer, just for a little bit of gain staging, and that's on every drum track. And then down on the drum bus, we have another instance of the virtual mix rack, and using the VCC in mix bus here. Again, we're using the Brit 4KE setting. We have the drive at 9, and I'm just driving the input a little bit and backing it off. We're using the SSL EQ. I'm cutting something around like 530 hertz, 3 dB, boosting a little bit of 3K, and then I am boosting an 8K shelf, 2 dB. And then over here we have the new FG-116 Blue Edition compressors from Slate Digital. The silver one is the vintage, and the blue is the modern. They're just like the original black edition. Let me just drag that in so we can pull it right next to it. Everything is basically the same. We have our input and our output knobs. We have our 4 standard ratios. We have a fixed 4-to-1 or an 8-to-1, 12-to-1 or 20-to-1. Our attack and release. Just to reiterate, on 1176, 1 is the slowest setting for attack and release. 7 is the fastest. And we have our mix knob again. But Steven and Fabrice came up with some awesome new ideas, some new features for the FG-116. And that is, there is a secondary circuit. So each compressor contains 2 circuits. So there's 2 compressor flavors, and there is 2 flavors within each compressor. So there's 1 and 2, and we have a high pass filter, or also known as a sidechain, which is really great when using it on things like buses or really bass heavy material where we don't want to heavily compress the low end. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the drums, and then I'm going to bypass the whole VMR in and out, and then I'm going to bypass each of the compressors in and out. We'll check out how both circuits sound. We will check out how it sounds in parallel, and let's enjoy this new compressor. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to be bypassing in the FG-116 Vintage. We're on circuit 1. I have it set up so each compressor, I've tried to level match as best as possible. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly perfect, and I also tried to really go for the same amount of compression on both compressors. We're going to be doing anywhere from something like 3 to 7 dB of compression for each. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the Vintage on circuit 1. Okay, let's go check out circuit 2. All right, very cool. So what I'm hearing there between the two circuits is I think circuit 1 is a little bit grittier and a little bit more in your face. I'm hearing a little bit more mid-range. I'm hearing the chains on the snares kind of pop forward a little bit. And on the second circuit, I feel like the low end is a little bit tighter. The highs are a little bit more pronounced. So I would say it's a little bit more scoop sounding on the second circuit. It's just my opinion, of course. All right, let's pop on the high pass filter on circuit 1 and let's see what that sounds like. Awesome. Yep, really liking what that's doing there. There's a lot of the kick coming through, getting a lot of the low end. The compressor's obviously not reacting as heavily to the low end information, so that is a super, super useful feature to have on this compressor. All right, let's hop over to the Modern. This is the FG-116 Modern Circuit 1. Here we go. Yeah, that's nice. I really like the Modern a lot. I think the Modern is a bit more hi-fi sounding to me. It sounds like we have a little bit more of a punchier low end, a little bit of a silkier highs, a little bit less harsh and less in your face. I think having the contrast between these two compressor styles is a wonderful thing to have. To have the vintage be much like the Rev A, where it's gritty and it's mid forward and in your face, and then we have the Modern where it is much more hi-fi and we kind of have a little bit of a scoop thing going on. A lot of low end coming through, very punchy, very reactive. Really enjoying it. We're gonna hop over to circuit 2. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to circuit 1 and let's kick in the high pass filter. Awesome. I think they both sound really, really cool. I think there's definitely a distinguishable difference between circuit 1 and 2 on both compressors here. And I think the high pass filter does a really great job at letting the kick come through and breathe and not collapse the overall stereo image from having the compressor work overtly hard. So let's go ahead now and let's check out the parallel compression that I have set up. So what I'm going to do is I have, again, the vintage and the modern all ready to go. And I thought it might be fun to just try a different Slate compressor. So what I did was, sorry about that, I have the VBC rack and I have the FG red compressor on. So instead of going FG-116, FG-116, we're just going to do a different compressor on the drum bus, and then we're going to be hitting it in parallel with the FG-116. So let me just bypass the parallel chain. This is what the drums sound like with the FG red. I'm also going to leave the FG gray on and the FG mu on because, as I'm sure many of you know from using this, just passing audio through these compressors and not doing any compression, it adds a really pleasant tonal characteristic to the audio from the way that they emulated the transformers and the tubes in these compressors. Just passing audio through it is we're getting a lot of nice things like some harmonic saturation. But on a very minor level. So that's what we're going to be using on our drum bus. So let's go ahead and check out this in parallel. Now we can use this in parallel on the track, obviously, because it has a mix knob, but I can let you guys experiment that, to your own taste. Everybody has a different work style and likes to implement compression in different ways. Only difference I have going here is I'm using a 12:1 ratio with each of the compressors, and I am going for about 10 dB of overall compression. And I'm just going to be muting the bus down here on and off so you can hear what the parallel compression sounds like. So we're going to start with the vintage on circuit 1. Here we go. Okay, let's jump to circuit 2. Very cool. Let's go ahead and check out the modern. So here's the modern on circuit 1 in parallel. And here's circuit 2. All right. So there we have it. There's a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a flavor of the new Slate Digital FG-116 Blue Edition, both the vintage and the modern on drums. I could definitely go through and do this on a whole session on a whole bunch of instruments, but I thought it might just be cool to go through and pop it on some drums because, like I said in the beginning, I really, really like 1176s on drums. I think these compressors sound fantastic. Really big fan of them, and I'm definitely going to be using them a lot in my mixes. So again, my name is Pete from Mix Better Now, and I appreciate your time as always. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Hope you have a great day.